You are now listening to the Sports Nuts.
What is going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to episode officially 74 of the Sports Nuts. You guys, I just realized it says the Sports Nuts on the top. Good grief, Brandon. Oh well. Hey guys, we have a fun episode lined up today. We actually are missing a member right now. He will be joining us in a little bit. Mr. Matt will be coming. Look, he guys, he had a nice little issue with the weather last time. He got stuck because the entire road froze. But he's coming on. Cannot wait to have him on. My man's sitting right here, y'all. That guy right there, Mr. Hank. How we doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm on the 50-yard line and I'm first and goal. So that makes no sense. But all I know is that I feel a little bit better than I did on Tuesday. So
hey, and that's a good thing to hear. It's always good. And look, I'm literally drinking this. And this is not an endorsement, but it's that naked like smoothie drinks. I love these things. I'm talking about getting my immune system going. My man's sitting right here, Mr. Shane Owen. How we doing, brother?
Oh man, been doing good, man. Still a little cold around here, but I'm enjoying it up in the mountains again. So, man, still love it. It's still got ice right in front of the house, so a little treacherous coming in as always. But hey, we made it.
Hey, when we had that snow event a few weeks ago, my girls made a snowman with their mom, and the snowman is still standing, y'all. And it's been like almost 3 weeks. So, yeah, it's just the bottom. As my daughter Addison will be glad to tell you, it's just the butt, as Addison says. So, hey, guys, we're going to talk with a good friend of ours, Mr. Clip Brock. He is with Pirate Radio, which is involving East Carolina University. They got some really cool content that they cover. I encourage you guys he will happily share where you guys can find their cool content, their station. Look, I'm not an East Carolina fan, but they got some really cool stuff to make me a fan. So y'all are gonna have fun with that one. We're gonna talk some college football. Look, it's over with, or is it? Because we had a nice little extension signed today with a fellow South Carolinian coach here. We'll talk a little bit about that because Shane, you're gonna dive into it just a little bit. Look, guys, the AFC and NFC championship are this weekend. It's hard to believe we're in the final four of the NFL. I can't wrap my brain around that. Hey, just saw a really big women's college basketball, South Carolina, LSU. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Cannot wait to actually talk. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts on the NBA All-Star voting. Look, the same people continue to get into it again, and some notable players were left out. We'll talk some more about that as well. And guys, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. But what makes it even better is we're going to get to do it with you all. We have fun every time we are on to spend an hour to hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours with you guys. We get to have fun. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and quickly give a special shout out to our sponsor, Tequila's Grill and Easily. Look, guys, authentic, affordable, and delicious Mexican cuisine is right around the corner. I'm talking about the homemade salsa bar, which is Shane's favorite. The queso is to die for. Literally anything and everything that they put out, Matt and I absolutely love. Guys,
half price drink specials.
That's right, the happy hour, half price drink specials. That's Shane's calling right there. Give them a call today at 864-307-8028, or better yet, stop on by 5455 Calhoun Memorial Highway, Easley, South Carolina, 29640. Again, that's Tequila's Grill and Easley. All right, guys, I'm excited to have our guest come on. He is part of Pirate Radio, which is affiliate of East Carolina University. Which, Shane, you just said a moment ago, it's one of the coolest logos, right? I agree, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. The border with the pirate logo in the middle. Of course, it's pretty hot. The colors they clash so much that they're kind of spot on too.
Yeah, that's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, I know you guys are all settling in. We thank you so much for watching. Get it going. Share this feed on the YouTube, the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok. No, not on TikTok because TikTok's gone, but all those in between. Come on right now and check them out. Mr. Clip. How we doing, brother?
Doing great. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate having you on, man. You know, like I said, I told everybody before, and I told the guys, y'all have some of like the coolest content like ever. And I love how you guys have your own specific radio, like lingo, pirate radio. That is like, excuse my language, that's badass. That's freaking awesome. I love it. Tell us a little bit about pirate radio and what you guys focus on most with East Carolina.
Yeah, it was founded back in 2003, I believe. I started interning as an East Carolina student, like in 05-ish, and started working there full time around 07. But so it's not affiliated with the university, but we cover ECU athletics, we cover local, state, national sports. But, you know, for example, we've got podcasts now from former ECU quarterback Holton Ahlers every week, former ECU pitcher Danny Beal, former ECU coordinator Greg Hudson, Notre Dame guy, Florida State. So, like, we're covering East Carolina, but also kind of everything else going on in the world of sports as well. And I do a 3-hour show every weekday, 3 to 6. Where we talk to current players, coaches, former players, and everything in between. So we cover East Carolina like they're the Yankees or the Lakers or whatever. And but I have other interests as well, like the Commanders, the Braves. So we hit that stuff too.
You know, it's funny you had said I should have worn my Brave stuff because you see all the Atlanta attire. Look, I'm originally from Atlanta. I was born in Mobile, Alabama, but I grew up in Atlanta. I've been a Braves fan since 1989. I've been a Hawks fan since, the early 90s, back when Neek played and Spud Webb.
Dominique went to high school 20 minutes from here, Washington High School.
Oh, nice. And I've gotten a chance to meet him. He's a really cool guy. I actually like him a lot. You know, and I've been a Falcons fan since 1992. I got to see the last ever home game for the Atlanta Falcons at Fulton County Stadium. I saw the first game at the Georgia Dome. I was at that Monday night football game when Prime and Ryzen, they duked it out on national TV. I'm pretty much an all Atlanta fan. However, hockey, my team is the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, you know, we don't have the Thrashers anymore, but there's a possibility they could come back. But yeah, I like my Atlanta sports. So it's funny. It's nice to see another fellow Atlanta fan. Don't mind the squeaking of the toy. My dog Stella is squeaking her toy. She is just doing her thing. So
let me explain my fandom real quick. So
okay,
here in North Carolina, when I grew up, well, when I was born, we had no pro teams. Then we got the Charlotte Hornets, but the Redskins were the local team. When the Panthers came, my dad and I decided to stick with Washington because we had gone to RFK, been fans. Braves were a national team, of course, but my grandparents' neighbors were from South Carolina. They went to games. They took me to Fulton County back when, like, the Padres had Sheffield and McGriff, and so it was like early 90s. So I'm a fan of them as well. And a couple other connections I thought about. My two favorite all-time Pirates, Dwayne Harris. I don't know if y'all remember him from the Cowboys, Giants, but he is from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And my new favorite, Rajay Harris, no relation, is from Duncan, South Carolina. I don't know if that's near you guys or you even know where that is.
Oh, yeah.
He just graduated, and that dude's a legend, man. Love Rajay. Him every week on the show.
So Duncan's more close to Shane than me. I'm more towards the Clemson direction. Shane is kind of more towards the Spartanburg location, where Duncan's at. So he's more, in theory, he's closer to Duncan than I am. But we know exactly where that is. So, you know, a small world.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I've been to Charleston, but I'm more Myrtle Beach. That's about the only place I know.
I used to live an hour and a half away from Myrtle Beach. We call it Murder Beach with what's been going on down there lately. But you know, Charleston, I love Charleston for about 3 to 5 days at a time. Then, traffic and everything gets too much for me, and I'm like, hey, I'm out.
Absolutely. So, all right, I want to ask you this. Obviously, East Carolina, they had one of those like questionable seasons. 2025 is now officially here with football coming. Gosh, and a long ways to wait till August, which is hard to say. But what would you give your overall grade for the Pirates this year with football?
Can I break it down to semesters? Like first semester D, second semester B plus, A minus, because we had a wild year, man. And so we come out, start 2-0 against some weaker competition, but then lose a few games. Mike Houston gets fired mid-season. The interim coach is Blake Harrell, our defensive coordinator. In conjunction with that, we kind of around the same time we made a move to Caden Hauser. We had two transfer quarterbacks, Jake Garcia from Missouri, Caden Hauser from Michigan State. Garcia started. If you look at most interceptions in college football this year, he's still near the top, despite only playing like 6 games. But I like Jake, but turned it over too much. But they made the quarterback move. We played some weaker competition, started winning games. We go 7-5, beat NC State in a bowl game, and finish 8-5. So you don't see many teams fire their coach and go 8-5. So it was a crazy year. They got going, and by the way, they made Blake Harrell the full-time coach. So it was a roller coaster year. It was a fun one to cover, that's for sure.
Now I can tell you this. Obviously, everybody knows y'all did throttle him. You played Norfolk State. Everybody knows who the coach at Norfolk State's going to be. Is good old Michael Vick. And then obviously we saw like the rocky season at the best is what I want to call it for Appalachian State. They really fell off the rocker.
That was a bad loss. Bad loss.
Yeah, you guys only lost by 2. And look, it's everybody has those hiccup games. Everybody does. And Appalachian State is not a pushover team by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, remember, they did go into the Big House in Michigan as an FCS opponent, and they upset Michigan at Michigan in 2007. So, it's not like, they're the team you can just come in there and say, oh, we're going to win 45-0 against, because they're a good program. They really are. They just had a down year this year. But then you guys played Liberty. And, Liberty, they're kind of a coin toss. You don't know which Liberty you're going to get week in and week out. But you're right. You guys turned it around. Basically, you did have a sort of a weaker schedule. Of course, obviously, you guys played Army and Navy this year, and both Army and Navy, they had like a freakish year by their standards.
Yeah.
But if you had to put like your finger and say this was the turnaround game of the season, which game in your mind do you think was where you guys said, you know what, we're waking up and we're ready?
Again, it's like if you flip the schedule, like we might have the same record. Like I still don't know. Maybe at the end of the year we're beating a Liberty or App State, but really what helped us was playing weaker competition. I mean, we were having discussions like if we didn't fire Mike Houston, would he win these games? Maybe. Like so. I'll tell you what flipped the season is losing to Charlotte, because when you lose to Biff Poggi 2 years in a row, I don't know if y'all know him, dude with the cut off sleeves and everything.
Who does that remind you of?
that was
Belichick?
it. Yeah, except he's got the arms exposed and no, but I even said, like, because I didn't think it would happen. Going into the year, I was like, hey, if Mike Houston loses to Charlotte 2 years in a row, he's got to go. Not thinking it would actually happen, and they kicked our ass, and that was the like, wow, he's really going to get fired like in season. Like we thought he at least last the season, but he got the axe 1 week after that when we lost to Army. So, but that changed the season because we went to Blake Harrell, Caden Hauser in at quarterback, and it was like a whole different team, man.
And it really sometimes it's just a change of scenery, change of face, whatever it may be, can make the difference. Look, you guys, you guys you've had a real rocky basketball season to start, but I'm excited for where it comes into play. You guys are playing tomorrow. You're playing against South Florida. Obviously, South Florida is a good place to go play against. They tend to make it interesting for everybody whoever they play. The season's still relatively young for you all. Yes, you're 11-9. You've won 2 in a row, which is really good. That's a good way to start. What advice, if you were the coach right now, and you guys are getting ready to play South Florida tomorrow, what advice can you give them to say, hey, this is it. This is where we have to really dig deep, because South Florida is good. Then you got to play at Temple. Then you got to play Rice, and then you go on from there.
Yeah. Can I give you a little background first? So,
yeah, go ahead.
I love college basketball. I am in the minority that I want ECU basketball to succeed more than any other sport at East Carolina, and it never has, and I don't know if it ever will. Also, real quick aside, so I make a somewhat decent living in radio, but as y'all might know, you got to have some side gigs here and there. So I host trivia, and my other side gig was doing PA announcing at East Carolina. I did baseball, did some basketball games, did some other stuff.
I'm jealous.
Well,
I always wanted to be the PA announcer at the Memphis Grizzlies or Tigers. So
yeah. So well, you know what? I guess I screwed that up, because I was like, it happened last year when our play-by-play announcer didn't show up to a game, and I lost it kind of, and I was like, this is reason 1,000,000. We're the most unserious basketball program in America. And then I got the text a couple of days later, your services are no longer needed as a PA announcer.
Oh, you said that on the radio?
I actually tweeted it out. So, but now the word unserious is kind of a joke that we use quite a bit around ECU athletics.
How old are you?
I am 43.
And you didn't know any better than the power of Twitter.
Well, I kind of knew something might be coming. I've talked to the athletic director. I interviewed him on the show, and somebody in the YouTube chat said, hey, how can Clip get his job back? So I said, yeah, hey, how can I get my job back? And he was like, well, sometimes you take shots here and there. And I kind of figured that I'd rather be able to say what I want to say than make $50 doing a PA game. So
that's cool. You could go be a club DJ or something like that. That's all. You got this, man.
But man, the basketball history, I guess my point is, look, my dad gets season tickets, so that's kind of a bonding experience for us. I take my daughter, and we want it to work so bad, and it just never ever has. This particular team can't shoot. We don't have any 3-point shooters. It's 2025. You got to be able to shoot the three. We can't do it. Our best player, who is a freaking warrior, is also from South Carolina, RJ Felton. They actually beat South Carolina a couple years ago in Greenville, South Carolina. See if I can pull up where RJ's from real quick, because he's going to go down as a great just because he stuck it out at ECU. And
Great Greenville's right there, basically in between me and Brandon. So
yeah, literally 15 minutes from where I'm at. I'm in downtown Greenville.
Can I interrupt this? Who is Todd the Broad?
I was just texting, who is that person? I have no idea if you know who that is, but hey, Todd, I'm glad you're taking the time out of your boring day to watch us and then make some obtuse comments, but it's okay. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
I see it now. Hank's got fans. That's good.
Yeah. Might be a Cubby chaser. Talk about me and Hank.
Oh, good. He might like me too.
Well, thank you, Todd. Hey, man, that's cool. I mean, no Diddy. I'm sure you're a sexy man too.
And look, we'll even point you out, sir. That's the fan. Hey, there you go, brother. Appreciate it.
RJ from Aiken, South Carolina, by the way. So a lot of
that's near Saluda. Yeah, that's exactly. I know where that is actually. That's where Aikens is.
My advice, though, sorry to ramble, man, but play up tempo. We did that, and we just won 2 games in a row on the road, which never freaking happened. So play up tempo. Let's get CJ Walker, RJ Felton going, and try to win 3 in a row.
That's right. You can take it day by day, game by game. Look, East Carolina, you kind of, it's funny that if they say this, there is that y'all play in Greenville. However, it's not the Greenville we're used to. You know, I'm Greenville, South Carolina. You're Greenville, North Carolina. I want to talk about you guys' baseball season last year. Y'all had a really good record, actually. 46-17. Obviously, you guys didn't win the ultimate prize, which, you know, everybody wished they want to win the ultimate prize. But, you know, I would tip it off and say, yeah, you guys are the host. Y'all did really, really good. And, you know, 2025 looks like it's going to be an even better year. What are you looking forward to most for the 2025 baseball season?
Yeah, so college baseball is still kind of a niche sport, I would say, like nationally. But that is the pride and joy of ECU athletics. We're in a regional every year. We usually host a regional. A few years ago, we hosted Texas in a super regional, beat them, and did not go to the World Series. If you ever watch the College World Series or the regionals, you'll see East Carolina has the most wins without going to Omaha, so we're famous for that. But to answer your question, this is going to be different. This is the first time we've really had to attack the portal in baseball, so it is a whole new team. We've got some studs coming back: Dixon Williams, Riley Johnson in center field, Ethan Norby. But honestly, Brandon, like, and I've interviewed a few coaches. It's still a lot of unknowns. Like, I need to see it for myself. Who are these new guys? Because there's a ton of new faces on this team. Like you said, though, should be another great year for Pirate baseball.
But baseball is my it's one of my absolute favorites. You know, my sister Jessica introduced me to the Atlanta Braves in 1989, and she said, "Hey, I want you to watch it. She'll really like it." So we turned on TBS, and there they were. There was the Atlanta Braves. We got to watch the Braves play, and I was hooked instantly. And so, you know, we have here in Greenville.
Quick, 2 years ago, we brought Dale Murphy to Pirate Radio. Brought Dale Murphy to Greenville, and
oh man,
and it was awesome.
I've gone to several games, and he has his own little like area at Truist Park, and every time I've gone to the games, he's not there, and I'm like, oh gosh, man, I wouldn't kill to get to meet Dale Murphy. So Dale Murphy, if you were watching, sir, please, I would love to finally get to meet you, get that baseball. I do have a baseball signed by a majority of the All-Stars on the Hall of Famers. So I do need to get you on there, Dale Murphy. Come on now. And Matt will tell you guys, I do literally I probably have 2 rooms full of like sports memorabilia. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But, you know,
So
I do want to introduce you.
Blue.
I want to introduce you to Matt. Matt is my good friend. I've known him for over 20 years. Him and I actually have a mutual friend. My name is Brian Greenblatt, which, you know, Brian, I'm going to call you out for the rest of your life. The way Matt and I met was Brian told us, "Hey, I have a good friend who plays for the Atlanta Hawks." And I'm like, "Well, shoot, let's get him on our basketball team." It's really up, all right. So Matt, he comes in there. I was like, "So what is it like playing for the Atlanta Hawks?" And he goes, No. I tried out for the NBA D League for the Atlanta Hawks. I don't play for the Atlanta Hawks. So I'm like, "Brian, really?" And Matt goes, "Really, Brian? You told them that I played for the Atlanta Hawks?" Of course, you know, Brian turned like bright red and everything, but, you know, it's for the love of it all. But I've known Matt for over 20 years. Good friend, great guy. And I'm sorry he came late, but he actually just finished up his busy work schedule. So we're definitely glad everybody is here. But, you know, all right. So back to what I was saying with the Atlanta Braves. You know, Dale Murphy is never at the games when I want to be there, but baseball is like it's life. So we used to have the G Braves, the Greenville Braves. They left and went to Mississippi, and they were there for almost 20 years. Well, ironically, Mississippi Braves left Pearl, Mississippi, and now they are in Columbus. They're the Columbus Clingstones. And then, funny story here, we have the Greenville Drive, which I don't know if you know much about the Greenville Drive. Their stadium is the exact replica of Fenway Park, down to the Green Monster even. And Greenville Drive, they do really good. A couple years ago, they won it's kind of like the World Series, but it's not. But it's like the champion. They won the championship. Go ahead.
Can I interject? I just got back from Massachusetts at the mid of October and finally got to Boston to see the Fenway Park. I would love to see this, like a little tour of this, because I saw the actual Fenway Park.
So it's
already.
beautiful.
I'm jealous already because Fenway is one of my bucket list type deals.
Shane, we can take a trip up there together for the weekend.
Oh yeah, well.
Hey, and Hank, I
gotta
promise
make sure
you.
Mom and Dad will watch the dog.
Yeah, floor. I mean, you can come. We'll watch Lily, but floor field. Oh my God, Hank, it is gorgeous. Clip. I encourage you to get a chance to visit it. Greenville Drive's a pretty good team. Well, we got some really cool news awarded to us over the last year. We have another minor league baseball team that's going to be playing in Spartanburg, the Spartanburgers. It's the Hub City Spartanburgers, which is the single A high A affiliate of the Texas Rangers. And they've already committed to playing to be a rival.
They were 30 minutes down the road from me. They were the Down East Wood Ducks.
Down East Wood Ducks, yep, that's right.
They left to go there, yep.
Yeah, and it's been the talk of Spartanburg, actually, and we actually were granted officially in the last couple of weeks. I've been talking with them, and they've granted us rights to media credential just for the first game, the home game at there. So I'm pretty excited about the chance to go check that out. Now, look, I'm not too high on Spartanburg.
One of the best players that came from the Wood Ducks was Luis Angel Acuna, Ronald's brother. He played there just a couple years ago.
Yeah. And
how about Mets?
Yeah. Yep. And baseball is like the best thing to talk about. So I want to ask you this: what are your thoughts on this the Hall of Fame voting? There's a player that, for whatever reason, he is not getting in. The entire state of Georgia, the entire fan base of the Atlanta Braves has all been advocating to get Andrew Jones in, and yet again, he was left out. What do you think is it going to take to put Andrew Jones finally where he rightfully deserves to go in Cooperstown?
Yeah, I hate all the Hall of Fame stuff. The fact that somebody didn't vote Ichiro, and I think now I'm to the point where let all the Royd guys in as well. I just don't care. Just put them in. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. Whatever. What's the deal with Andrew? Are they saying Royds, or because he's the best defensive center fielder of our generation?
It's because he's during that time frame of the Royds is the only thing that I can I can think of. We had a good friend of ours say the same thing, that is it maybe that's why. But then also our good friend Brian Gephardt of 680 The Fan said us in the last episode that if you watch Andrew Jones's final 3 or 4 years, he really tailed off rather quick.
Well,
but I wouldn't punish him, because the dude, he still is the youngest player to ever receive, to catch basically a home run ball in the World Series. He was 19 years old when he made his debut
in
the World Series.
The Yankees, yeah,
when
he was 19.
Yeah, and we for whatever reason though, nobody understands. And Chipper Jones, now he's absolutely livid because the Jones brothers is what they were. They were, you had to worry about Chipper and Andrew. You had both of them. Obviously, Andrew, he would swing it away at pretty much anything. I can remember there are times he'd be, the Braves needed to have something and he would come through, and then there are times he wouldn't come through. But, that's with every player. But what do you think needs to happen just to get over the damn hump and let Andrew Jones be rightfully where he deserves? Heck, even Carlos Beltran deserves to be in there too.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't make the votes public, right? Maybe we need to start seeing who's doing the voting and put a little pressure on them or something, or at least say, hey, let them have press conferences like we do player coaches. Why didn't you put Ichiro in? Why is Andrew not in? What's he need to do? Maybe we make this public.
No,
give him some public shaming. No, he didn't get in 100% of the votes.
By one. That's
which
crazy.
Is crazy because I was a big advocate. He won it, rightfully so. But man, did you know his third game? This is one stat that's been coming across my feed lately. His third game, he reached his 10th at bat, and he got a single, and he went over 300 for his batting average. he played over 2,600 games after that with over 10,000 plate appearances and never dipped below 300.
That's stupid. Yeah. That's
That's crazy.
like
That's crazy.
Tony Gwynn stuff there.
So, here's the crazy story that was produced on ESPN. Ichiro came out and said he wants to have a drink with the lone Hall of Fame vote holdout that, he didn't get the unanimous vote. He wants to have a drink with them just to kind of pick their brain and find out what made you want to keep me from coming into the Hall of Fame. And
exactly.
Look, Ichiro is he is like a legend. He's a great guy, great player, great everything. But like, come on, enough
Wasn't
with
it
this.
like last year or 2 years ago, he went in full uniform and threw out the first pitch?
Yes.
Warmed up and everything.
Yeah. The dude could still probably
like
hit
80 miles an hour. Yeah.
He could probably still hit 280, maybe even close to 300. He's so physically like in great shape still to this day. But I'm tired of the old school stuff. Shane even said this last episode. Hank did too. Brian did as well. Enough is enough with the 1900s style voters. Let it be put them all in. And I said, well, what player do you think should get in? And we had fans commenting saying Pete Rose. And I'm like, yeah, put him in. And then I said, well, if Pete Rose gets in, let's put Shoeless Joe Jackson in the Black Sox scandal that happened. But, he's been gone for a long time. Put him in. Let people who put a significant impact in the game of baseball, in the Hall of Fame, because they did phenomenal things. Yes, they made mistakes. We all make mistakes in everything we do. We're human beings. But I'm tired of it.
Give them their own wing or something. The dark wing. These guys.
Yeah. They already put an asterisk beside all the records. So why don't they call it the asterisk wing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Shoeless Joe Jackson has been dead since 1951.
Yeah. I mean, come on, folks. Shoeless Joe Jackson, and there was like a petition that went around here a few years ago. And it was like 1.6 million strong to vote to put Shoeless Joe Jackson, take away the ban and finally put him into the Hall of Fame. And they actually had a meeting about it with Major League Baseball. And it came up like 10 votes short that they were going to remove the ban. But at least they're starting to wake up to that. But
was Bud still there? Was Bud still in office?
No. Manfred was in office.
Manfred? Okay.
Yeah. So it was interesting how that happened. WYFR, which is a NBC affiliate here in Greenville, South Carolina, they were like it was kind of like hey, new number today, another vote, and they were pretty big advocates to get this petition signed. So I tip my caps to them on that. So obviously, sports is a big component for everything. We're coming close to the quote dead zone. But there's a couple big moves that have happened, obviously, with our Atlanta Braves. Atlanta signed a 6'7", 240-pound 16-year-old, which has unheard of numbers. He throws with such great velocity. Yeah. Before I go to the second one, I ask you, what do you think about the fact that Atlanta has already inked this kid at 16?
Well, that's news to me. I don't follow the farm system a whole lot because I just take for granted they're going to have somebody come up and make a spot start and go 8 innings and strike out 9 or whatever. Hey, that's kind of what they did with Ozzie and Ronald, right? Like, I don't know how young they were. I don't think they were 16, but we see this in baseball. These guys, they get scooped up young. I feel like the Braves, and Brandon, you can correct me, but like when we see these Asian pitchers and these guys, I feel like we haven't landed one of those guys yet. Like a far
not actually.
Yeah, but where is this?
I'd be
guy?
down for it.
Where's this guy from?
He's from Cuba.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, the fact that he's 6'7" at 16 is crazy too.
I'm not going to question anything their front office does because they brought over who was it, the World Series year? You had Pearls, you had Rosario.
What's his name?
Todd Peterson. Yeah.
Man, Jock Peterson, yeah.
Yeah. Eddie,
And I was like, why are we getting
over Eddie that year too?
Eddie? Yeah. And it's like, what are we doing with these dudes? And it worked out pretty damn good. So
yeah, one of the two of the three guys that were key in that run ended up one winning the NLCS MVP and the other one winning the World Series MVP with that jack that he had over the train station there in Houston.
Dude, Eddie
We'll
against
still say that ball is still floating.
Yeah. Eddie against the Dodgers is one of the more like legendary things I've seen from a team I like in my life.
Oh, it's one of the great postseason moments that you can think about. I mean, even given you put it up there in maybe the top 10 with the Mr. October Reggie Jackson type deal in that postseason run.
I hate to see how much Eddie Rosario really dropped off. Like, I mean, he really dropped off in Atlanta. They brought him back in this past year with the hopes he could rekindle that fire and become the Eddie Rosario of old, but it never metastasized. And he was released, went to the Nationals. The Nationals said no, and I think he even went to the Mets, and the Mets quickly said no as well. So it just goes to show that anytime and anywhere anything can happen, you could drop off real fast. And
Eddie, move to Atlanta. You'll never buy a beer. You're
yep.
So live
That's
your
right.
life.
That's right. Absolutely. I mean, gosh. I mean, does anybody know if Tim Hudson still lives in Atlanta? Even I mean, that Huddy was the man.
Yeah.
But all right. So then Atlanta did this big splash. Look, they've been questioning left and right. When is Alex Anthopoulos going to make a move? All we're doing is we're seeing minor league contracts this, minor league contracts that. Hey, big name players linked to the Braves go everywhere else. I mean, everywhere else. Well, Jurickson Profar signs a 3-year, $42 million deal. I asked my good friend Nick Shalini, a 680 fan, was this a home run? And he said this was a home run signing. He's a great left fielder. And some people said this is maybe going to save Alex Anthopoulos' job again. I mean, I'm not going to go that far because he's done a lot great for the Braves. But what do you think about that signing for Atlanta?
Well, Brandon, I'm like you. I asked a buddy of mine last night who follows it a little more closely than I do and said his contact numbers were awesome last year. Said he's a good utility guy. He was kind of a smart ass with me and said once inevitably one of your guys gets hurt, he'll be able to play, which I didn't like to hear that. But the Braves have had some injury issues lately. But yeah, I like it. I like that move. And I agree with you too, man. It has been eerily quiet this offseason with Atlanta. But honestly, man, if our pieces, obviously Ozzie and Ronald, but Olsen and Riley, like we don't need much. We need some arms, I guess. We could definitely use arms. But I feel like we've got the team to win the East and hopefully beat the big bad Dodgers at the end of it.
And there's all this talk going around that Max Scherzer could be making a final pit stop as an Atlanta Brave. And, look, I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to rely on him to be the one to save. Like if we had to go to Game 7 of the World Series, I'm not going to say, all right, Max, you're the one that's going to have to win us the World Series because age and injuries really have crept up on him.
Well, honestly, what did you say about Chris Sale last year? I said, this guy's not going to make it the whole year. This might not even be a big deal. And he was freaking amazing. So,
oh my God, I'm blown away at how much of how much he has improved his entire everything. And look, I know the pitching staff is phenomenal in Atlanta. They work really hard at trying to keep players from getting injured. Chris Sale came out when he came to Atlanta and he signed an extension with Atlanta. He said this is the healthiest he has felt since the 2019 season with the Red Sox. And I'm like, okay, well, that could be good. So, Matt and I, we would talk occasionally, like, what do you think was going to happen? And then Shane and I started talking, and then all of a sudden we're all talking like, holy cow, Chris Sale is legit. And then we had towards the end of the season, we had a good friend of ours come on, Abe Gordon from 92.9 The Game, came on, and he said, there's no questions need to be asked here. Chris Sale's going to win the Cy Young. And Chris Sale is everything we needed to be, and then some. And lo and behold, he really is. And the name, but here's a name that I'm weary. I'd be okay with Max Scherzer replacing this name, Bryce Elder. Like Bryce Elder, what happened with him? Like he fell off. And I'm okay with Max Scherzer replacing him. So with all this being said, and let's just for hypothetical purposes say Max Scherzer does sign with Atlanta Braves. Does this put Atlanta in prime position to A, win the East, and B, compete with the Dodgers?
Compete with the Dodgers is tough, although the year we beat them, they were on paper better than we were. So, and you know what? The Mets, I haven't looked at gambling odds. Are the Mets the favorite in the East, or is it still Atlanta? I don't know. But
it's still Atlanta.
Yeah. And I'll never believe in the Mets until they do it during the season. They can win every offseason championship. That's fine. But until they do it during the season, I'm not worried. But I don't know, man. I'm skeptical about what Max Scherzer has left in the tank. That doesn't move the needle for me that much. But then again, I was pessimistic about Chris Sale, and that I was wrong on that one. So we'll see.
It's gonna be. Go ahead, Shane.
I'd much rather, if I were AA, I'd much rather look at the possibility of a Trevor Bauer at a younger contract than what guaranteed money Scherzer's going to be looking for somebody that's going to be the same type pitcher that you're going to get out of Scherzer that Bauer is now.
You think he's coming back this
year? Other than a fiery guy in the clubhouse, and that's, me as a baseball guy, like I love to see that.
You think Bauer's going to pitch this year in the majors?
I think he will. He's proven to love the game too much and to be too good at the game right now where he is to be left out.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like the Antonio Brown NFL situation. Like he's the basket case and nobody wanted him in the locker room, but he still found ways to get there. So, Bauer, I think, has proven himself, in Mexico this past year and, with kind of what he does with content-wise now on social media. He's still got that drive, and I still think that he could be one of the better pitchers in the majors. Be it a closer role, maybe not a starter like he was, but a closer role. I mean, he's got that fiery, gumption about him.
You're absolutely right. And look, I'm not going to, obviously I understand like the whole, controversy would be around him. I get it because, he was allegedly accused of something and kind of found out he didn't do it. But the fact that he was even mentioned can cause some type of hiccups in the locker room is always there. But, you're right. Give him a chance. Trevor Bauer, he lit it up in all the international leagues. Of course, he did play in the Mexican League and he, dominated left and right. But
some of the best TikTok highlights ever.
Absolutely. So, I hope Trevor gets a chance to do it. All right. So before I let you go, I want to ask you this. I kind of know where you're going where I'm going to, the first question. It's the NFC and AFC championship. Your Commanders, they're traveling to the Eagles. We don't know if Jalen Hurts is fully healthy or not. Jaden Daniels is rookie of the year, hands down. And hell, if he wins the NFC championship this year, I would even consider crowning him as a possible MVP candidate just because of what he's done. But who do you have for the NFC and the AFC championships?
Yeah, bias aside, I would pick the Eagles. Look, we split with them regular season. Last time we played, Jaden Daniels, 5 touchdown passes, 90 rushing yards. So we can move the ball. I say we. Sorry, I've been a fan my whole life, so I say we. I've never played for them, but damn it, they have.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Last Washington game I went to, it's been way too long. 2012, RG3's rookie year, Redskins Falcons. RG3 gets hurt. Kirk Cousins comes in. throws the long one to Santana. But the Falcons did win. Got to see, I think, Tony Gonzalez score a touchdown. So that was pretty cool back then. But, man, I can't believe we're here. You say the thing about Daniels MVP, like if you really want to define most valuable, this dude like changed the whole franchise. And I give Cliff Kingsbury credit and Dan Quinn, but Daniels, man, he is the coolest dude under pressure. I mean, you Falcons fans saw it, unfortunately, for you guys late in the season, but like never gets rattled. I like to see him excited because like he never really gets excited either. Like it's crazy, man. He is a killer. I just don't know if we got enough. Honestly, Saquon will probably run wild, and the Eagles will probably win. So AFC, I'm not gonna. It's stupid to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I don't want him to win, but give me the Chiefs. Can I ask y'all?
Yeah.
Do the Commanders have a chance on Sunday?
I'll go ahead and be frank with you with this one, man. If you guys can stop Saquon, then you will have a chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
That's what it is. It's all it is. It's just stopping Saquon.
Stopping Saquon, yeah.
What did he run for you guys? What did he run on you guys last time?
So he had like a 60-some yarder. I broke it down where like if you take that away, it was like 28 for 90 or 100. Like it wasn't terrible other than the long one he broke. But as you see, he can break a long one every week. So
yeah, but I mean, it's just about can the Commanders can they win up front? Can they win up front on the offensive line and the defensive line? That's pretty much what it's going to be in the trenches, man. If you guys can win up there, and you guys have the D line for it, you guys have and you have a good offensive line. But the Eagles, man, it's going to be a tough one. And trust me, man, I'm not really an Eagles fan, but I would as a betting man, I would go with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I just don't think well, first of all, man, we don't talk about Dan Quinn around these parts first and foremost.
No.
Yeah. We don't talk about him around these parts, man. but he's established himself again. With the as you saw how the Cowboys defense fell apart without him, and then now what he did over in Washington with you guys. So got to give him credit. But at the same time, man, it's tough. It's tough, and I think it's about stopping Saquon. And on offense, can you get Terry McLaurin to show up? Is Terry McLaurin going to show up on offense? And not to say it's his fault. Not to say it's his fault for some of those disappearances. You have a rookie quarterback. You still have a rookie quarterback. Jaden Daniels is still a rookie. But it's just about can Terry have a big game? Can Scary Terry have a big game? And can you guys stop Saquon?
Yeah, Matt, on that note, like I'm glad you said that because he has been invisible in some games this year, and I put it more on Cliff. Like throw him a screen, like do something to get him the ball early.
Yeah.
Give him the ball, get him going, man, because I'm happy for him. He is like I get mad at him because he's not a diva. Like I wish he would complain more to get the ball. He's way too nice of a guy. But man, I love Terry. I'm so happy for him because he deserves some success.
I mean, if you sign a contract that he signed, you'll be a nice guy too, man. So you go from there.
Good point.
So I'll answer that question about does the Eagles have a chance? Look, I'm going to quote the great late Stuart Scott. If Jaden Daniels comes out cooler than the other side the other side of the pillow, and like Brian Robinson lights it up on the running game, and then McLaurin gets going, I think you guys legit chance because again, we don't know what level of the injury that Jalen Hurts has. What if Hurts comes out and he is legit like ice cold, like can't hit anybody, or he's scared to really get going? Oh yeah, then you guys are going to walk over because all you guys need to do is just shut down Saquon, and you guys have control of the game because Jalen Hurts is not at 100%. And it's a knee injury. And I've had knee injury. I unfortunately have to have knee replacement surgery. And I can tell you, after having 6 knee surgeries going on my 7th one, any knee injury is the hardest thing to ever overcome. And it always sits in the back of your mind, what if? Like, what if I do this? It's going to hurt this, and it's going to hurt that, and do this, whatever, And I think Jaden Daniels, he's going to come out and do what he's done all season. He just stands there, and when he goes, it's calm and cool and collective. And you're right. I've never, in the entire time I've seen him on TV, I have not seen Jaden Daniels freak out. And you do see a lot of rookie quarterbacks that they get happy feet. They get the wide eyed, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? No, he just literally goes, oh, okay, just dumps it. I'm like, dude, you literally, and I've seen so many people. Matt has said it too. This, and we have a friend of ours, Nick Bungalow, who lives in Toronto, Canada. He has messaged me and said, can you believe this Jaden Daniels kid is like unlike any player I have ever seen. And and they always call Matt Ryan Matty Ice because he had ice water flowing through his veins. Dude, Jaden Daniels has it. I think even colder than that. Because he comes in there, you don't see him have feet, you don't see him frazzled, you barely see him like get excited, overly excited. When he even on a 2-minute drill, it's go here, go there, and call it. And I'm like,
anything 4th and 5 or under, they go for it, which is fun as a football fan, but it shows the confidence they have in them. And I feel like they're going to get every one because if nobody's open, he's going to run it. And it's been awesome to watch.
And Matt will tell you, people left and right in Atlanta were like, get Jaden Daniels in a Falcons uniform. And then I'm not hating on Michael Penix Jr. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be a great addition for Atlanta for decades to come. But daggone, Jaden Daniels is unlike any other. Now, if I had to put it on if I had to bet, I would unfortunately bet for the Eagles, but I would say it'd be like a 3-point difference. But again, if you guys find a way to stop Saquon Barkley, the tide will reverse, and I think you guys have a legit chance to go to the Super Bowl. As far as the Mahomes versus the Bills, I'm actually leaning towards the Bills. I think Josh Allen is going to end that stupid curse for the Buffalo Bills. I can't figure out whatever reason it is why they won 4 straight AFC championships and lost 4 straight Super Bowls. I can't wrap my head around no team can go to 4 straight. It's hard to go to 1, let alone 4 in a row. It just the luck was on their side. But I think that Josh Allen finally ends the curse and gets that coveted Lombardi Trophy for the city of Buffalo.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
What do you think, Hank?
One, man.
I'll just say this. To me, as far as the Commanders-Eagles games, it's more of a skill versus will type thing. And that's all that beat the Lions was will. There was no skill involved in it. They wanted it more. And it's just that's the simple general direction they went. They pressured. They moved quicker. They recovered quicker. They did everything faster and stronger, but it had nothing to do with skill. And it's a little bit ridiculous that anybody else will think that they could beat the Eagles. So I have my money on the Commanders, okay, because I think that they will beat them based upon will, not skill. I think that the Eagles are not nearly as skilled and not nearly as willed as the Lions were, in my opinion. That being said, I hope that the Commanders lose because whoever they play in the Super Bowl, it's not going to be a very good game. You got a rookie quarterback, you got pretty much a rebuilding team, all that. It's going to be a blowout in the Super Bowl. So I've got the Commanders winning, but I've also got them where I don't want them to win.
What do you think, Shane?
I think, I'll talk about Dan Quinn. He's actually got a quarterback who can probably score some points in the second half. We want to talk about, 28.3. All that mess. But
we're not going to talk about that 28.3. Come on now.
All I'm saying is Jalen Daniels by himself would probably score more points in the second half than they did in that game.
Matt, do you have a flag on you, sir?
Not at the moment.
Damn it, Shane. Where's your flag, Shane? You know what? Here, I want this flag.
Hey, that's the truth about it. I'm interested. I think Washington's going to do good. You mentioned Scary Terry is not, hasn't been much prevalence this playoffs. The Eagles secondary is kind of hurt right now with Mitchell being out, and then the backup got hurt last week, so they're kind kind of on the ends right now on the second corner spot, opposite of Slay, and so you're gonna put Slay on Scary Terry. The Commanders this year have have made a living in the playoffs off of the secondary receiver, and so I think that's going to be a big key to the game. I don't think that Washington's defense, interior, as far as the linebackers and safety core, are going to be able to, kind of come up and, make that big run stop that you need to see to be able to control the game more. So I do believe it's going to be a close game. The other game, the AFC game, I'm pulling for Josh Allen. I hope he gets it done, gets them there. I'd love to see the Bills win it all. They were one of my picks to win it all in the very beginning of the season before it even kicked off. So that's one thing that I love to be about. But a Bills Washington Super Bowl or a Bills Eagles Super Bowl is definitely better than anybody versus the Chiefs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Amen.
I forgot to make my AFC prediction.
Yeah, what's your AFC? Well, go ahead.
I see the Bills beating the Chiefs 17-14. And so, and that's what I'm hoping. And by that way, if they win, hopefully we can stop this whole Taylor Swift thing. Finally stop it. Okay. I'm about tired of seeing this wrong hole pimp and this empty-headed heifer together on TV every week.
Hey man, you're gonna get his flag talking like this about Taylor Swift, man. You can't do that. Can't do that live.
Hey, I don't give two weenies in the same hole. Okay, that wrong hole pimp and that empty-headed heifer need to get off TV right now.
Don't put your address out there. A super fan gonna come after you.
Look, you started a little good debate there, man. I appreciate it, brother. But hey, you know what though? It's gonna be. I want to have you on again because I want to start talking because baseball literally knocking on the door. I want to talk to you once baseball gets started going in there, and so I want to hear your thoughts once it gets going. Could this team finally get a chance to go to Omaha? So we'll definitely have you on again if you're down with it, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Sorry I dropped out there. I got one of those old computers where if it's not plugged in, it immediately dies, and I kicked it or something. So, but I enjoyed hanging out with y'all, man. I appreciate it, and sure, we can do it during baseball season.
I'm ready, man. Hey, would you please tell everybody where they can find you, find Pirate Radio, find everything?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do, just go to Pirate Radio TV on YouTube, and you can find my show, all the podcasts we talked about, pre and post game basketball coverage. We talked to Mike Schwartz, basketball coach, earlier today. We'll start that baseball coverage soon. We actually got media day for ECU baseball Monday. So Pirate Radio TV on YouTube, best place to go. And you can check out all our stuff.
Excellent, man. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your evening to come spend it with us. It really does mean a lot to us. And we will talk to you again soon, sir.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Yep. Have a good one.
Too.
Peace.
Look, we had a good episode with him, guys, but I want to continue the debate right here, right now. First off, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt, would you please tell everybody about your wonderful ice skating excursion you had last week?
Oh man, it was crazy, man. You know how it is down here in Georgia. Whenever it snows or whenever an ice is over, we don't know what to do. So of course, man, I had to park my car at an IHOP and walk about a mile to the house. I sent Brandon some pictures, man, so he saw the whole street was iced over. So yeah, man. I mean, and we had to go back. Me and my roommate, we went back and got my car. About a few hours later. We walked back. I got the car and just drove it back when the roads were down, roads were dead. But yeah, prior to that, man, it was just I was in my car. Let's say a total of I left my job, got on the highway, got home. So when I got off on my exit, it took me. I'm literally like a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles from the exit to my house. It took me literally 3 hours to get just from there to
Ooh.
like a mile and some change just to park my car somewhere and walk home. So yeah,
Dang.
it sucked pretty much. It sucked.
That does not sound like a fun adventure, but whenever ice storms happen in Atlanta, for whatever reason, everybody gets in their car and goes, "Let's go drive in the ice and see if we can do it." And
Absolutely.
let's all get stranded. Literally at the same thing, same exact time. And funny story to continue on that one. Mom was off of Roswell Road, and you know where Mom lives in Roswell.
Yes.
And she was over in Roswell Road, and my stepdad Dave goes, "We're gonna get your mom." And I go, "The hell we are! I'm not getting into this stuff. You got to be kidding me." He's like, "No, we're gonna go get her." And I'm like, "Dave, do you not hear?" I said, "We're not going." He goes, "Your car has better traction control than my car does because your car is lower to the ground." And I'm like, "I don't care if it's lower to the ground. I'm going to just spin. I'm not going to do anything." And Mom sat in the same area of Roswell Road for about 9, maybe 10 hours. Finally gets home, and it's like, dark 30. It's pitch dark outside, right? And Mom comes, and she does not hit the brake one bit. She accelerates at a good rate of speed to go down and go up the hill and just make it onto the driveway. She made it, and she said, "I'm not doing that ever again." Well, then a few hours later, my next door neighbor, their daughter Hannah, was coming home. She had texted me. She said, "How bad is the roads in the neighborhood?" And I said, "I'm going to tell you what Mom did. Just put your foot to the accelerator and go. And don't stop." And she said, "Is that bad?" And I go, "Do not stop." And she kept going, and she sort of slowed down, and she didn't. She stayed up and up, and she was able to make it up their driveway, but barely. And, Matt, I told Cassie, I said, "Babe, this is look at this." And I showed her the picture she sent me, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's Snowmageddon 2.0." And I said, "Yeah, And then Seth, from what Cassie had said, you looked like you were like right down the road from Seth and Catherine's houses, and she was trying to see if you could go to their house, kind of thing. That's how close you were. But glad you made it out of that whole escapade. And look, ice is beautiful to look at, but not fun to be in.
Definitely not fun. Definitely not fun to be in, man. So.
But all right, so I wanted to ask you this. First off, did you guys see this story by Cam Newton complaining about he's struggling to survive because he has 8 kids? Did you guys hear this?
I saw that, man. I was just talking to my
should have pulled out.
I was just talking to my girlfriend about that, man. Yeah, man. Cam, he said that, man. But what he's talking about, man, is he's not getting the same tens of millions of dollars anymore. So his means of living or quality of living has went down. Now, instead of getting instead of having eating off of $100 million contract, now he's just eating off of $1 or $2 million.
Oh, damn! It's so
ESPN,
hard.
Of course, got ESPN First Take. He's on First Take regularly every week. He has that ESPN money. His podcast, they pay him. His podcast got picked up, by a national, it's nationally syndicated now. His podcast is a big thing now. And he's still, NFL players retired. They still get checks every year. They still get checks from the NFL. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. I feel really bad for dude. Oh yeah. I give a shit about your first world problems. Oh, I got 8 kids, man. You needed to pull.
There is this little thing. It's like a snip.
Yeah, exactly. Or tell your wife to shut her ovaries up. Okay.
Turn that factory off.
What Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon's trying to see if you can get a kid every month of the year.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna hold Cam Newton down and be like, hold his legs.
It's different. Nick Cannon is like the Nickelodeon CEO now. So,
hey, look, hey, your kids are.
He's got more kids than you can think of.
Yeah,
Brandon, you on pace? Brandon, you close? You on pace, Brandon? You on pace?
That factory shut down, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, did you?
I didn't. Cassie did.
Oh man,
look, I've gone through more pain than I need to, and I don't want to have any additional pain as it is.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected,
But Cassie, happy to tell you that factory shut down and closed for good.
that means you could point the gun anywhere. They don't care. You basically took the bullets out the gun anyway.
Oh my God. Y'all crazy.
I'm just saying.
But
look,
I wanted to mention this story because I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Like, poor, I sit here and people are like, "Oh, well, Cam Newton poor." I'm like, dude, for who gives a crap about what? First off, Cam Newton is the kind of person who likes to go and do this and just jibber jabber. I mean, hell, I can still remember him going to some like event and these kids were like heckling him, right? And he's like, "But we don't have the same bank account," and talking trash to kids, folks. Cam Newton trash talking kids. Then Matt will be happy to tell you there was this little event in Atlanta where he gets beat up by teenagers for whatever reason, because it's Cam Newton running his mouth, probably. I don't know.
Well, I ain't gonna say he got beat up. He kind of handled them pretty well. They jumped him, and he kind of handled both of them kind of pretty well. He is 6'5", 240, 250. He's a big guy. So, he got jumped nonetheless.
I was about to say he was 255 when he was in the league. He was literally the biggest quarterback of all time.
Yeah,
except next to Jamarcus Russell's fat ass. But
wait, no, who was that quarterback that came from Kentucky? You remember what I'm talking about, man?
The hefty lefty?
Yeah, the hefty lefty. He was like, what, 300 pounds?
Andrew Luck?
Mark Lorenzen?
Yeah, he played in the league, didn't he?
No, he played in the Arena Football League or a semi-pro league and was.
Yeah, he was like a 300 and some odd pound quarterback.
Yeah, 320 pounds. Passed away a few years.
He passed
back.
away because he was too big for. I think it was his heart related issue.
I didn't know he passed away. That's crazy.
Yeah,
he
passed away.
The old hefty lefty wore number 22 for Kentucky.
Jeez.
Yep, I remember that distinctively. That was crazy when I saw that. But I digress. All right, so guys, I didn't.
ESPN did a whole special on them.
They sure did. I remember. So all right, I gotta find the picture. I didn't want to share it because I don't want to get copyright on that part. But I'm going to show you this picture. All right, this is like the craziest basketball score ever. It's a high school basketball game between Miami of Northwestern, which is in Florida, and Booker T. Washington in Florida. Now, guys, this is actually real. Max Prep Sports, 24/7 and 305 Sports, and ESPN even posted this. That is the score, the final score. How bad do you have to be to get beat by that much, Matt?
You have to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
You got to be really bad. 115 to 13. I mean, okay, what are we talking here? Are we talking like a team full of 5 stars versus a team full of walk-ons that don't even want to play? I mean,
all right. So Booker T. Washington's record at time of the game.
All right, so Booker T. Washington. So obviously,
they were 0-11 at the time of the game.
Oof.
Northwestern was 14-3 at the time. All right, so you ready to see the quarter by quarter scoring? Let me pull it up here. That's the first quarter, you're down 45-2. The second quarter, at halftime, you're down 82-2 or whatever. 83-2 at halftime.
Kids, don't do drugs.
I'm sure drugs had nothing to do with it. I'm pretty sure
that
it's a gap in talent.
So that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is Matt's favorite word right there, which is, Matt, what do you call that got done to them?
They got mollywopped.
They got mollywopped and then some.
Clearly, the opposing team was higher than Eagles nuts because they weren't paying attention to the score. They weren't paying attention to the score to see, there's a basketball game still going on. You could accidentally score 15 points in college, probably. I mean, you didn't even score. You only scored 13.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Talk about it. About any sports subject. I got to handle something real quick with the kids, real quick. Okay.
Your thing.
Yeah. No. I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing at what he said about that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, that was kind of. Oh man. I mean, I'm sorry, and I know we got guys who like, what was it? I mean, did they literally just put on their were they like a practice squad?
I don't know. Shane, what they're talking about, man, is some high school team beat another high school team 115-13.
And basketball.
Yeah, in basketball, man.
Oh, I mean, that's nothing. I've seen. Shit, I saw Duke play women's basketball game last night, beat SMU like 70-something to 30. I mean, I've seen South Carolina beat another a Charleston team or something, wasn't it? Or no, maybe it was Clemson, like 101-38, something like that. I mean, we're talking about college athletics. There's some outrageous high school stats that I've seen before. Like it's like 100 points in the first half, and they just basically forfeit the second half, kind of deal.
Well, my theory is that they were eating weed brownies before they went on the court and didn't realize that there was a game going on. I'm like,
man,
which ones? The ones that got all the baskets, or the ones that didn't? Because
the ones that did get the best.
There's two ways eating weed brownies is going to work out for you. Either you're going to be on the couch and not doing anything, or you're going to be super focused.
Hey, that's above my pay grade.
I hear you guys talking about this stuff. I'm dying and laughing.
I'm just saying.
Weed brownies. Come on, weed brownies. Like,
I mean, come on. You should be able to accidentally score 20 points on another high school team.
I agree with him.
You lose by. I mean, you don't even score a freaking point in the second quarter,
dude.
Listen, I've seen some sorry high school games before. Coming from a small school and everything, and not everybody has a skilled squad that can field a, say, girls basketball team in high school when you got like 500 kids in the whole school. So you see some they want to talk about the mollywops. My favorite one's the shellacking.
those are the best.
I'll
Matt, so
I'll think of my own word later, but okay.
All right, so Matt, we had Addison and I had our basketball game recently. We did lose. We lost 22-4, and I'm going to tell you guys. And Matt wasn't here to unfortunately hear this, but Matt, when I talk about it, literally was the worst game I have ever been a part of, and it's not for reasons you think. There were moments that, damn, I really was going to be Bob Knight and fling some chairs left and right. So one of my players, Coach Channing's daughter, Emmeline, she got punched twice in the face by one girl. One of the punches cut her face. Well, another player by the same girl on the other team punched another one of my players, and they called a foul on my player.
What's going on in this league?
So I'm gonna go about in just a minute. So, the ball handler on my team, her name is Anna Claire. Well, that same player, she punched him, and they called the foul on Anna Claire. And I'm like, why did she? And so there were times that Channing literally about lunged onto the court, and Cassie, bless her heart, damn near came close to it as well, right? Well, then Addison gets like kicked really hard by the same girl, like kicked. She has a bruise like this big on her leg, which is huge for a little girl. She's only 6, and there's this big bruise on her leg, right? So she gets kicked by her. They didn't call a foul. And then we have one of the smallest girls on the team. She's a diehard player. She gives it to her all, little AJ. The same girl grabbed her by her arm and flung her to the ground, and they called AJ for traveling. Matt, it was an absolute shit show, unlike anything I have ever seen and experienced, right? And so the second time that Emmeline got punched, I screamed. I go, hey, you've got to call the flagrant on that. That is a flagrant foul. The other coach goes, well, your player's been doing that the whole game. I'm like, no, the hell she's not. I didn't say that. I'm like, no, the hell she's not. I go, and so Channing goes, she didn't even touch her. She just walked over and punched her.
Oh, please.
And so the other coach was trying to like do a mouthing. So you know me, I'll stare at you and I'll give you the intimidation look just because I want to give you I want to beat your butt up kind of thing. I stared at him and he goes, "What?" And I'm like, I didn't flinch. And he goes, "What again?" I go, "You think flinching's gonna scare me?" And that's all I said. And he laughed, right? And I'm like, dude, first off, you're like 5'4" and 112 pounds. Like dude, I may have been injured, but I can still handle my own kind of stuff. What?
I would be tempted to turn out all the lights and give him a 4-knuckle tattoo. I mean, it's just not.
Nah, Brandon, we can't have you going back to the old Brandon. Back when we were playing ball, man. We can't have you do that, man, because you know that's those kids aren't ready for that.
Yeah,
those kids aren't ready for that.
You mess with my kid at that age, I'm gonna bust your head in until the white meat shows. Please believe that.
Well, then you know what, Matt, and I gotta say this. So Channing, myself, and Channing's husband, who coaches Emmeline's sister and the 10 and under group, right? He goes, they're not calling fouls, so just run through them, plow them over, hit them hard, play more physical. You know, he goes, whoever's the most physical wins at the end of the game. You get a prize. And they took it to heart. They played more physical. And, you know, little Addison jumps on a girl's back, literally jumped on her back to get the ball. She get called for a foul. Literally, both Channing and I and the whole stands were like, yeah, way to go, Addison. Excellent job. And of course, you know, they felt like they were in trouble because they had lost. They felt sad on something. They said, don't you ever put your heads down. You guys did fantastic. You came and you played the fundamentals. That's all that's mattered. You gave it your all. I said, the results, I go, I'm going to tell you what I tell my daughters every time. I say, give it your all. Don't worry about the results. They will come. They will come. I promise you, they will come. So, of course, you know, it's really hard when you see 6 of the 7 kids, they're bawling their eyes out. They've given up. You know, they're 8 and under. They're sad. Well, Addison came home and she had a meltdown. She cried in the shower for about 15 minutes. But I can tell you, man, it took every ounce of my being to not do Bob Knight and throw chairs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Otherwise, I would have called you to bail me out, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not bailing y'all. I'm gonna let you sit in there and think for a night and think about what you did. I'm not bailing you out.
It sounded like Brandon wanted to jump down his throat and stomp on his liver, but you know.
That's what it sounded like.
Oh yeah. All right, so I want to talk. Let's go back to the show again here. The Texans, they're in the news for the weirdest reasons. Remember, it was only a year ago, everybody and their mom was saying they wanted Slowick to be their head coach because he was the greatest offensive coordinator there was. Well, he's kicking cans tonight. He got his pink slip. What do you think about that one, Matt?
I mean, you got to look at it in its totality. I mean, they didn't perform this year. They didn't perform. And, you know, it's a results-based league, man. You know, you're only as good as your last game. They didn't perform. And unfortunately, you know, well, I mean, he can go down to the college ranks, man. And I think he'll do great down in college and he'll get a shot again. If Dan Quinn can get a shot again, anybody can get a shot again. So, you know, that's how I look at it.
What do you think, Shane? I know you got to head out here, but I want to ask you, what do you think about this? Do you think that people were jumping the gun too quickly and saying Bobby Slowick was going to be the next head coach of XYZ's team?
Well, I don't know. And, you know, the situation that he's coming out of, you know, we're also talking about the current climate and seeing what's available and all where he's coming from. So, you know, I think it might be a good career move for him. You know, kind of an unsuspected career move, but it might be a great one for him because I think wherever he ends up is going to be great. I mean, you saw what he did last year with the rookie quarterback, you know, and everything, and you know, it just didn't kind of facilitate this year the way that it was expected. I mean, they still made the playoffs, right? And you know, and probably was one of the most competitive games in that weekend of the round of the playoffs. You know, if you really think about it, you know, so but you know, for what happened, I think he'll end up okay. You know, do I think Texas moved on a little bit quickly from him? Yes. because I think you give it one more year and then see.
Yep.
But
My rule is the 3 and done kind of thing. If you have not improved, if you stayed the same for 3 years, then you're not going to get any better.
yeah, as a coordinator under the same coach, yes. But if you're talking head coach, GM, if you don't see it going right the first couple of years, you need to go ahead. It don't matter, one and done, like in college basketball,
That's right.
or anything like that. If the head coach, GM, in the current climate, the way it is in professional sports, no, you got to move on. If you don't feel right from the beginning, you got to move on.
Amen. All right, so Hank, I'm gonna come to you just a second because Shane's about to leave. I want to ask him these 2 questions. The first one is Shane Beamer. He is he has now been guaranteed to stay in Columbia officially, according to paper, until 2030. Signed an extension today. And then Don Staley's Lady Gamecocks upset Kim Mulkey and the previously undefeated LSU Tigers. Thoughts on both?
Shane Beamer, I've always wanted him to come back home, I guess. But we were kind of a year away from that. I love to see him do good. Of course, I'm a South Carolina fan. When it comes to anything, other than Virginia Tech, pull for Clemson too. It's kind of hometown kind of deal. Hey, you got to pull for the teams. It's great to see them get extended. They've got a lot of things going. Probably one of the top 10 most exciting teams headed into the 2025 college football season. As far as South Carolina Gamecocks, so it's good to see him get inked in for a contract extension. That way he can focus on what's on the field. And I feel like, South Carolina as an NIL collective has backed it up and come about. Don Staley inked her deal, wholeheartedly worth it. It's kind of sad because if you think about it, Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma, you see some of these old coaches. They brought these teams and the sport of women's basketball, to the forefront. What people think about to get Don Staley this opportunity, and they've been long gone to where they can't get this, kind of stipend and recognition monetarily for what they contributed to the game. But it's well deserving, and more is going to come, and we're going to see. It's like we've talked about before. WNBA is not in the red this year for the first time ever, and it's only going to keep going up.
Amen to that. Absolutely. No. And look, I'm beyond excited for Don Staley. Look, Don Staley getting that $4 million a year contract. She absolutely deserves it. It's about darn time for like women's sports to have that type of leadership. So I commend her. I'm happy for her. Happy for them for upsetting the previously undefeated LSU Tigers. It was a great game. Congratulations goes out to the Lady Gamecocks. Now let's continue on building that success. Shane, I know you got to go and everything. So, sir, what do you tell the lovely people?
Hey, man. Hey, I got to leave early. Got to handle a couple things. People are calling. Got to answer. Kind of deal. But as always, man, thank y'all for watching. As always, like, follow, share, subscribe. The comment, anything y'all want to hear us talk about, let us know. Got some big things coming for the future. We'll kind of keep y'all updated on that. But, before I go, peace, love, and bacon grease. Peace, love, and bacon grease indeed. Shane, we will talk to you again soon, sir. We'll see you later. Take care. Much love. So, all right, I want to continue on with you because Hank, I want to hear your thoughts on. First off, I want to hear your thoughts on the with
South Carolina, Shane Beamer getting an extension until 2030. You know, they just this is only their what they said their 8th time ever in program history getting a 9-win season, and then Shane's right. They do have a lot of hype built up for them for the 2025 season. I want to talk a little bit about that with you. But then I want to hear. So I'm drawing a blank, unfortunately. What I was going to go to first. So I want to hear all your thoughts and everything we just talked about. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. It happens, unfortunately. Like we talked with Shane about with Shane Beamer getting extended, and then also the Lady Gamecocks beating the undefeated LSU Tigers.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
It was such a long drawn out. What was the question one more time?
All right. Now I remember. All right. So the first question was what do you think about Bobby Slowick? He was the OC offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. He was let go after 2 years. Do you think that Houston jumped too quick? Or do you think people are on the Bobby Slowick train too fast, as he was going to be the leader of the next XYZ franchise in the NFL?
I think they jumped the gun too quick. It's not like he was in the head position, so to speak. I think that, I agree with your theory about the 3 and done sort of thing, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of confidence. If there's not a whole lot of confidence to give, it's almost like you're rushing based upon, no matter what the system is, that this is how it needs to be done.
I like that. I like your viewpoint on that one. All right, so now I want to go to the next question. South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. They upset LSU. They handed Kim Mulkey in her first loss of this year in women's basketball. What are your thoughts? Do you think that now that LSU has fallen from the unbeaten ranks, that this pretty much locks South Carolina in for a potential number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament for women's basketball?
I really can't confidently answer that because, the Lady Gamecocks is, the South Carolina Gamecocks, they haven't had a tremendous amount of success in women's basketball. And let's face it, this women's basketball, how much do we closely paid attention to it until the past few years?
You're right. You are right. You're absolutely right. And then the last question is what do you think about Shane Beamer getting an extension for South Carolina? Look, this year was it was only the 8th time in program history that they won 8 or more games.
Talking about for football?
Yeah.
When was the last time? Jadeveon Clowney?
Last time was when Jadeveon Clowney knocked the helmet off the Michigan running back, and Spurrier was the head coach.
I mean, I would take care of him. I would take care of him. I think that it's motivation. I think, if you don't, how long is the extension?
Until 2030. So total 8 years is what they said on the news.
That's a good amount for a college coach. I would do it. I mean, how much better can they get? I mean, South Carolina is a great school. It has a good football program, but they're nowhere near as popular in the SEC. You don't think of the South Carolina Gamecocks when you think of SEC at first. I have a couple friends that are alumni from there, so I think of it, but who really does? So it's not just about winning. It's not just about, it's about popularity. And, just keep it 100. That's how college football is.
I agree. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry, man. The bourbon went down the wrong tube. Sorry about that. No. In regards to what? Which one? Which question?
With Shane Beamer getting his 8-year extension.
Thank you.
This is bad radio, by the way, folks.
I know, right? Excuse me. I'm sorry about that, man. I had to. Trust me, I had to. No. Yeah, I agree with Hanky. You got to take care of him, man. I mean, you can look at the coaching market and you look who's left. I mean, look, who out there can do a better job than he can? Who out there can do a better job than he? That's how you have to look at it. Granted, you got some NFL coaches that got relieved of their duties that you will love to grab and you'll love to take, of course. But when you look at it in its whole totality, man, they I think they overperformed. They've always had talent, but I think remember, Brandon, we talked about this, man. They started out shaky, but then they kind of got on track and they had some key wins, but they also had some horrible losses. Teams that should have beat Alabama. You know, they should have beat some teams. So I think they had to give him that extension for the simple fact that there's not anybody else out there that can do better than he can, and for a familiarity aspect of it. You know, he's been familiar with the program. He's a good recruiter. You know, and he showed improvement. And you don't ever want to fire somebody that showed improvement. So you gotta,
That's right.
you have to look at it like that. So yeah, I think it was good that they extended him.
You know, and you know me, I am not a big advocate for South Carolina. I don't like them. I've never have. Even before I met Cassie, I didn't like them. But I'm going to tip my cap to them. I think it's a good first step in the right direction. Would I have done 8 years? No, I would have done another 4 years just to see. Because, you know, yeah, this is only year 3. But say next year, yes, there is this hype and whatnot around Lenore Sellers, but you also lost a lot of good players in the portal and the draft. So they won 9 games this year. What if they take a step down and they go to 7 wins? And then the next year after that, they go back to 5. Then you got then you have potential for going 4-8 again or whatever, you know. So, you know, that's why I say if you extend somebody, do it for 4 years. I understand it's for money purposes and whatnot, but I think what they're trying to do is keep up with their big brother who plays in Clemson. Dabo Swinney has been a signature on the Clemson sidelines for almost 2 decades. Now that they see that we can do this and we have beaten Dabo 2 out of the last 3 years, maybe we have that. We have who we need to have to lead us. But here's the question that I'm going to propose to you guys is you beat your rival, but you haven't even won the SEC yet. So do you think they jumped too quickly on that part, thinking that Shane Beamer is going to lead them to, you know, the 12 next year? Then he's not, but yet Shane's not going to win the SEC. Like, I mean, you still have to deal with the likes of Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you still have those 2, and then you do also have LSU that tends to come around at the end. So you have theoretically 3 damn good teams ahead of you. That's not including, you know, yet what I kind of hope that my odd year, even year kind of mix and match that I have with Vanderbilt comes to end, and it's odd and even years that Vanderbilt is fantastic. So then you have another issue with Missouri. So now you're looking at Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Missouri, Vanderbilt. Then you got South Carolina. So that I mean, there's obviously a bunch of teams because you have Oklahoma and Texas as well. So theoretically, you have eight teams ahead that could be as good, if not better, than you. I think in order to give someone an 8-year extension, you have to win the conference first. He's done right by getting them 9 wins, but he has to do better. Get them the conference, then get them to the 12, then get them to win a couple games in the 12, then ultimately get to the prize, which is to win the whole thing. What do you think?
I mean, for all I know, there could be something up their sleeve now that the NIL is in effect. I don't know what it is, and I don't really give a rat's ass what it is, to tell you the truth, prematurely, because there's always been a lot of sneaky behind the scenes things when it comes to college football. And I have a strange feeling they have something behind the scenes if they're going to extend his contract for another 5 years.
You're right. What do you think, Matt?
I have to agree with Hank here, man. I agree with Hank. He pretty much said it all, man. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. I mean, it has to be something. So
yeah, it's
do they see something that we don't see yet? You know, who knows?
Yeah. Absolutely, I think so, man. They have to. It has to be it. So we'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell, man.
Shane says I have a lot of conspiracy theories, but I mean,
They're pretty good.
Well, when money's involved.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so I want to share this with you guys. Clemson has released the majority of their schedule. This is their football schedule right here. TBA, to be determined, is the bottom 5.
Yeah.
But there is a game, Matt, that I'm circling right away. What game is that I'm circling for Clemson?
I hope that'll be the September 13th game.
Yeah, the September 13th game. You and I, heck, we're going to try and get Hank and Shane as well, but definitely you and I, we're going to do our darndest to be there at the Clemson Georgia Tech game. And then there is another game that I'm eyeballing as well. And that is the November 22nd game when Furman travels to Clemson, Death Valley, and they take on Clemson. It's going to be a good game. We support our Furman Paladins here at the Sports Nuts. I do want to share something that was really cool. I didn't get a chance to share with you guys. I did take Addison to the Furman game a couple like last week.
Yeah.
And Furman, they did unfortunately they lost. Well, Addison got to meet the player of the game, Mr. PJ Smith Jr. And there's her picture with him. And she absolutely had a blast. This is when Coach Ritchie was talking to our good friend Dan Scott, Tom Van Oy, the voices of the Furman Paladins after the game. And I caught 3 shirts. This was one of them that Addison got to have. It was the Pepsi shirt. Another one was, Furman saying is F-U all the time. Yes, you can say it's, F-U. 1 time F-U, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times F-U all the time. And then the last one was a Furman softball t-shirt. I caught all 3. Really cool. Had a good experience. Cannot wait to take Addison again. She got to meet the cheerleaders. And it was a fun game. So yeah, it was I had a lot of fun with Addison there. So with that being said, guys, I'm eager to share this news. Hank kind of has the news a little bit. Matt, we got the media credential relations form for the Alabama Beavers. It's literally just for the media week. They have the whole schedule run down, and if you guys are interested, let me know. I will fill the form out so they will have your access. So what you get the badge to everything. You get complimentary food. You get fed literally everything that the players eat. You're eating too. They pay for your hotel. And they don't pay for your ticket to get there, but they pay for your hotel. And you have access to literally everything. So if y'all are able to, let me know. I will get you guys signed up. I can't go, unfortunately, because I only have 1 car right now. So that will change hopefully soon. But I just want to let you guys know we had that. So I'm excited. We are excited for Alabama Beaver football. Cannot wait to get it going with them. They're going to have a lot of fun. Talk to our good friend, Mr. Andre Duncan at the South Carolina Ravens. Matt, you, me, Shane, and Hank, we are all going to be doing something soon with them because season's about to start going. So be ready for that one. Guys, we've had a really, really good show. But obviously, all good things have to come to an end for the evening. And we are not going to continue on. We've gone an hour and 39 minutes. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it. So next Tuesday, we will have a good episode lined up. It will just be the 4 beautiful faces of myself, Matt, Hank, and Shane. We will be on there at 7:30, our usual time. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to be definitely talking about the potential Super Bowl matchup. We will know officially who in the Super Bowl will be. So we're pretty excited about that one. All right. And then, Matt, comes Abe Gordon 4.0. It is Friday, January 31st. Our good friend Abe Gordon of 92.9 The Game is going to join us again for round 4 of Attacking Me. Right, Matt?
There we go, man. There we go. I'm pretty sure we'll get another short out of it.
Yeah. Can't wait to have Abe. We always have a good interaction with Abe. Abe is a really good guy, Hank. You'll actually really enjoy him. He's funny. Matt actually got a short recently of him. And I said, isn't it funny that you find like random jokes? He goes, no, you do. Don't say we. And then Matt was able to capture it on there. It's all fun and games. We have a fun time with him. Then comes my absolute favorite, which starting tomorrow, you guys have to do this. It means we got to let Shane know too. February 4th is a first for the Sports Nuts crew. And why do I say that? We have a former NFL running back who is also, I think he's Matt, is he a Hall of Famer? Is Jamal
I
Lewis
don't
a
think
Hall of Famer?
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I could be mistaken though.
But so we have a former Baltimore Ravens running back, Mr. Jamal Lewis and Coach Bob Swank of Chamblee High School. They have agreed to come on. They are going to be joining our show. We did try to get Ed Reed. We came very close, but his media team came back and said he's not doing any more media interviews right now because he has so much lined up. Obviously, it's a very big move for Chamblee High School to get an NFL Hall of Famer like Ed Reed.
Yes.
Good friends of mine at Fox 5 Atlanta. They do have an interview lined up with him. So, Matt, check out that. I see you're laughing and putting us on mute. But make sure you look and check out that interview that he has with Fox 5 Atlanta. It's going to be really good. But, guys, go on starting tomorrow. Twitter and your Facebook, everything you possibly can. Say, and reminder, the Sports Nuts have former NFL running back Jamal Lewis of the Baltimore Ravens is coming on the show. I cannot wait to have him on. I know we have a lot of people who are going to tune in for that one. So stay tuned for that one. And then, guys, also our good friend Maddie Hudak, SI.com beat writer for Tulane. I'm trying to get something set up for her in early to mid-February. Hopefully we'll have her on soon as well. And I did hear back from Ray Lewis's team, which, by the way, that's really hard to get a hold of someone like him. But they said that they want me to give them dates, and they will look and see if they can squeeze him in. So we may have Ray Lewis come on the show. That would be really cool. What do you think, Matt?
We'll see, man. That would be awesome. But we'll see.
Man, yes.
Now,
I
look,
can't
this
wait.
guy right here, he's working on some magical things. Matt, can you kind of give a little hint as to what we are working on your end, sir?
Oh no, just reaching out to some people that are in Georgia Tech right now, as far as coaching. Some players, some older players. I'm kind of honed in on the Georgia Tech team right now. So, as far as the school right now, as far as past players, NFL, NBA, like I said, coaching wise. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. That's how these things work, man. You kind of just gotta throw out a bunch of
Hope and prayers.
I would say throw out a bunch of what am I looking for, Brandy? Throw out a bunch of like strings, throw out a bunch of sticky strings and hope one to stick or something and just pull one back.
No,
That
it's the
makes
hook
sense.
and bait.
Hook and bait. Just want to
Fishing. Yep.
There you go. And hope something lands. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So our friends that are in the Atlanta metropolitan area, Matt and I and Hank and Shane, we are looking for an additional sponsor. It can be monetary, it can be a discount code at a restaurant, whatever the case may be. If you are interested in us doing a live on location at your facility, your establishment, reach out to myself, reach out to Matt, reach out to Hank, reach out to Shane. We will get it set up right away, and it'll be a lot of fun. We will have merchandise. We will collaborate back and forth with you regularly to set up the live on location. We will be there. We will bring all of our equipment. We have equipment. Matt will tell you we have the tables, we have the chairs, we have the devices, the headphones. We have everything. We have it all. We would love for you to come and sponsor. Again, it can be a monetary donation, or it can be a discount code or whatever. Something that we will create the ad for you. I actually have a friend who is willing to create a commercial. Just give us the information. We will create it, and we're good. We'll get you. We will help grow your business. We have helped tequilas grow exponentially in the Easley area, and we want to help others continue to grow as well. So this gentleman right here, Mr. Hank, he is our Memphis advocate. He is our Memphis media relations guy. Look, again, if you guys know anything that are watching in the Memphis, Tennessee area, and you want to possibly have us sponsor you to help you grow, because look, we are nationally known. Remember, guys, we did have an episode that has over 8 million views. So if you want us to help you grow, talk to this guy right here. Give him a call. He has his cards on the way. He will be happy to get it set up. We will have everything you need to have. It can be what are you like, Princess Diana waving there, folks?
That's
You know,
right.
if you want to do if you want to do the I was about to say the Princess Diana, if you want to do a monetary donation or even a discount code, whatever it may be, we appreciate it. We have always had a blast doing these things. We're trying to set up another live on location at our good friend Tequila, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, it has been a wonderful show. We will be back again on Tuesday. It's going to be I will be in my Powdersville basketball uniform because we do have a game. I'll be coming home directly from the game. Cannot wait to coach this game, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. So with that being said, for our good friend Shane, as you guys heard, he has his peace, love, and bacon grease from our good friend Clip, who is a part of Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville. Check them out, pirateradio.com or pirateradio.tv.com on YouTube. They have a lot of great things. Follow them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter. They're really cool, really good content. Love it. Hank, what do you say to these lovely people, sir?
Thank y'all for watching us, man. It's a pleasure to be here in the house with y'all tonight.
No, the pleasure is always enjoying having you on, sir. All right, Matt. We didn't get to hear it last week. What do you tell the lovely people, sir?
Oh man, first of all, guys, thanks for tuning in, man. However many of you right now just tuning in. Yeah, man, just
right now on Facebook there's 10, on Twitter there's 34, and on Twitch there's 1.
Brandon, you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
I see all that stuff.
The numbers lie. That's none of them.
We love having you all on.
For all thousands of you watching right now. Weekends coming up. NFL playoffs are coming up. All that stuff is coming up. You guys are gonna go out. You're gonna go drinking. You're gonna go doing what you do. Just make sure you have a DD. Make sure you don't get flagged. I don't want to bail you out, so don't get flagged.
Yeah.
Call him.
Don't call me.
Give Matt a call.
Don't call me.
Don't call me.
Don't call me. I'm not.
Don't call me either.
I'm done. I'm done bailing y'all out. Don't call me anymore.
Eat a deep dish pizza, wait an hour, and drive home.
Amen to that. Look, guys, we have so much fun having you all on. Look, I know I point out the numbers that we have, but anybody that comes on, thank you. We have so much fun with you guys on. It really means a lot to us. Go ahead, like our Facebook page, like our Twitter account, follow our Facebook and Twitter. Guys, go on our YouTube. Our YouTube account is growing. We can only get bigger because of y'all. So let's keep it going. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful weekend. It's going to get warmer. The weather is finally going to thaw us out just for a little bit, only to come back down. From February 10th to the 17th, there's a potential for 2 winter storms. Just keep an eye on those. Guys, we had so much fun. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Have fun with your family. And as always, peace up. A-Town down. Best city in the town ever. Y'all take it easy. And good night. Enjoy our new outro video.